Hi! Welcome to this part of my review featuring the Neon Lords of the Toxic Wasteland Core Rulez. If you haven't seen the other parts of this review, please check out the playlist in the description below. This is an awesome science fiction, or rather science fantasy, post-apocalypse role-playing game. In this part of the review, we are going to take a look at more of the character classes. We start with the Heather, that's Heather. It stands for Hellcat Eradication and Termination Heavy Enhanced Ranger. They were small units employed at the end of the Neon Wars for special hit missions of key enemy personnel. Fast and deadly, they were able to destroy their targets from far away, or real up close and personal, so as you can see, this is a character class of extremes. After the Neon Wars, the Heathers fell into obscurity. That was until the secret to their unnatural stamina and uncanny marksman skills was unearthed. Deep in the ruins of Metro City, the super serum known as Substance D was uncovered, and a boatload of it. Secret experiments were held by an unknown war wizard, subjecting the willing subjects to horrid experiments until he created the ultimate killing machine. And so the kick-ass babes of Heather squads were reborn into the Neon Wastelands, where they seek glory, fortune, and anyone's head for the right price. When it comes to hit points, they are pretty decent. They are also good when it comes to the movement speed. Now, concerning weapons and armor, a Heather is only trained in using firearms, explosives, and the BFK, that's a bayonet. Anything out of her training suffers a -2 to attack rolls and damage. She can utilize any armor to keep her silky smooth skin intact. When it comes to starting equipment, you start with things such as a blaster rifle and a compact mirror because you need to look always pretty in the face of adversity. Now let's talk about the Rad Abilities of the Heather. They have hyper-enhanced reflexes and almost machine-like vision. Any Heather is an uber threat in a fight. You have things such as the Matrix Dodge. Uncanny reflexes come with their advantages. If the Heather is the target of a missile attack, they can spend a Hella point to subtract a random modifier from the to-hit roll of the attacker. You also have Come With Me If You Want to Live. Substance D not only makes the Heathers lethal combatants, it also makes them born leaders. Spending a Hella point, the Heather can grant any player character in their party the ability to move as an action during the melee combat phase. You also have the Affixed Bayonet. Attaching the BFK to the front of any weapon considered a rifle will grant the Heather the ability to perform a melee weapon attack within 10 feet using their missile weapon, and the bayonet also grants additional distance. Your class-based ability is Hella, as if. Years of slaughter and conflict, not to mention Substance D coursing through their veins, has afforded the Heather the ability to be the true queen of battle. However, if you spend too many Hella points, you will have to roll on a table, obtaining results such as Shell Shock causes you to roll on the fear chart. They don't make him like they did back in the old war. Gun jams cause you to either discard it for another weapon or spend your next turn on jamming it. Or maybe you obtain the result of Farewell to the Flesh. Your gun explodes, causing you to roll on the Lasting Injuries table. When you reach 5th level, the Heather auto-hits any armor class of 15 or lower, and gains an additional bonus when rolling to hit against an armor class of 16 or higher. You also have Knife Mid-Gunfight. Advanced hand-to-hand training has its perks. The Heather is able to make 2 attacks per turn if they are using their BFK. And you have many other things like Advanced Critical Hit. You also have a bonus when it comes to reaction rolls, because you have the true art of getting what you want. Now let's talk about the Holy Smiter. By my deeds, I honor him. Dawnstar. This is Dawnstar. Some of you may remember from the introduction to this role-playing game that the Dawnstar is actually a space station. These guys worship a space station. The Holy Smiter stands alone against the darkness. As a member of the Legion, a religious order that reveres Dawnstar and Lord Randy and renounces all other gods. Their purpose is to bring forth righteous reckoning to all that is chaotic and alien to Neo-Terrax. Wielding holy magic and weapons blessed by their god, the Holy Smiter dispatches Demon and Xeno alike with righteous anger. You have really good hit points. Your base movement speed is pretty decent. When it comes to weapons and armor, the Holy Smiter can only wield non-pointy weapons, such as a mace or a club, as their beliefs prevent them from wielding weapons designed to pierce the flesh. The Holy Smiter prefers plasma armor, but will wear whatever they can get their hands on until acquiring it. Concerning starting equipment, you start with things such as a sweet bandana with Dawnstar's sick logo, and an alms box, of course. Now let's talk about Sleaze and the Holy Smiter. Being a man of faith, it's important to walk this straight and narrow and not piss off the gods. To represent this in the game, the Holy Smiter cannot gain a Sleaze ability score greater than 12, so this is a post-apocalypse sort of paladin. Let's talk about some of the Rad Abilities. The Holy Smiter's Rad Abilities let them use their strict code of conduct to aid in battle and commune with their deity. The Holy Smiter only gains favor from Dawnstar and is granted power through prayer. Holy Smiters that gain 12 or more points of Sleaze lose this favor, becoming what are known as Fallen Smiters. Some of the abilities include: the only good bug is a dead bug. The Holy Smiter has a bonus to attack and damage rolls made against Xenos, against foul Xenos. You're a disease and I'm the cure. When subjected to a critical hit, a Holy Smiter can spend 3 faith points to make an immediate counterattack before damage is applied, and normal rules still apply to the counterattack. You also have the urge to purge. Despite their pure hatred for all that is demonic and alien, the Holy Smiter will grudgingly work with classes and races they see as unholy. After every long rest, there is a small percentage chance the Holy Smiter will turn on their allies and try to kill those they consider to be unholy. You also have the prayer check. The Holy Smiter's Sleaze score greatly affects if their god answers their prayer, so you need to add or deduct the Holy Smiter's Sleaze modifier to their prayer check, because prayers are basically powers that the Holy Smiters use to vanquish their enemies. They obtain these divine favors from the heavens, from the satellite of course. Now, if the Holy Smiter uses too many faith points, they will have to roll on a table, producing different results such as Holy Backlash. The next roll gains a penalty, a random penalty. In addition, a random ally takes 2 damage. You also have Kissed by Chaos. Losing faith is enticing to the forces of chaos. The Holy Smiter gains a bonus to their Sleaze and rolls on the minor mutations chart. You also have Dogmatic Law reigns supreme. You may not have fallen out of grace with Dawnstar, but the Legion has other plans. A rival Holy Smiter has been sent to cleanse you of your sins, teleporting in 15 feet away from the Smiter. If you reach 5th level as a Holy Smiter, divine favor has been bestowed upon you for your good deeds purging the universe of all that is chaos and Xeno. Your god grants you the ability to cast 2 prayers per turn. And of course your holy prayers and powers are also augmented. Now let's talk about the Fallen Smiter, the shell of a shattered man. Abandoned by their god, they are the long-forgotten sons. Alive and devoid of the divine powers they used to possess, they now roam the wastelands as adventurers or guns for hire. Concerning weapons and armor, a pure distaste for the preferred weapons of the Legion, the Fallen Smiter takes up the firearm as a means to an end. You also have the price of abandonment. To cope with their loss, the Fallen Smiter gains the addiction condition of a random substance. Maybe you are addicted to crack, or to trash water, or death sticks. There's also Chaos is calling. The gods of chaos are always looking for souls to steal away from law and order. The Holy Smiter can forego the Fallen Smiter and the road to redemption to become a Chaos Smiter. When it comes to the Chaos Smiter as a class, this archetype loses all ability to cast prayer or spell. What they lack in magic, they gain in brute strength and viciousness against the lawful aligned. When making an attack on any creature of lawful alignment, the Chaos Smiter gains a bonus to attack and damage. Level advancement follows the Holy Smiter as normal. Now you have Chaos Smiter to the max. By the grace of their god, the Holy Smiter deals fatal blows and devastating attacks when they roll a natural 20, but the Chaos Smiter rolls on the War Wizard melee to the max table instead, using a d20. Now there is a road to redemption. The path back to their divine god isn't lost for the Fallen Smiter. Once their sleaze is less than 12, the Fallen Smiter can attempt to regain the favor of their god. There are a few ways to achieve this. You could make a pilgrimage to the temple of the god. You could slay a powerful enemy of said god, or you could get your sleaze score to 0. Now let's talk about the Night Stalker. A code of silence. Hidden deep underground, far from the citizens of the sectors, is the ancient temple of Chuck, a secret sect of assassins and bounty hunters who follow a strict code set out by their mysterious leader, known only as the Walker. Within the Temple of the Night Stalkers, they find a place where they can show their mettle to gain the rank of Lone Wolf within the sect, called the Octagon. Once the rank of Lone Wolf is attained, they must leave the dojo in search of their own path. Most become adventurers known as Night Stalkers, silent killers who use the secret art of Chuck to incapacitate their enemies with only their hands, feet, and ninja weapons, of course. The King of Sleaze, the Night Stalker, may worship at the feet of Chuck, but they sure as hell don't act like him. When it comes to hit points, you are not very sturdy. You must rely on stealth, secrecy, and your abilities if you are to survive direct confrontation. You are pretty quick, however, your base movement speed is really good. When it comes to weapons and armor, a Night Stalker is trained in the use of crossbow, katana, dagger, garrote, short bow, sling, and ninja stars. The Night Stalker can only equip non-metal armor. Mesh armor is the exception, because the bulkiness and clanking make it hard to sneak around. Concerning your starting equipment, you begin with things such as a lockpick set and a short bow. Now let's talk about the Rad Abilities. You have things such as Pray for Death. The Night Stalker deals 1d10 of damage with the garrote from behind. You also have Silent Rage. The Night Stalker's proficiency with a bow, including crossbow bolts, gains them the ability to add their Shadow Strike bonus in the class advancement table to their attack and damage rolls when shooting arrows and tossing ninja stars. Your class ability is Stealth. A Night Stalker can spend stealth points and add a modifier equal to the number of points spent on any stealth check or any Night Stalker skills. Stealth points used towards anything on the Night Stalker skill table adds a 10% chance per 1 point. And the Night Stalker's ability to pick various manual locks, doors, padlocks, chests, etc. makes him a very useful class. The Night Stalker cannot use lockpicks to unlock electronic keypads, however, that's not within his area of expertise. You also have many other skills such as Disarm Trap, Pickpocket, Shadow Walk, Stealth Mode. As you can see, this character class is pretty much a post-apocalyptic ninja. But if you spend too many stealth class points, you need to roll on a table, obtaining results like Bloody Hell. Trying to be super stealthy has its costs, tripping and falling and busting your face, looking like a tool. You take damage and lose 5 sleaze points. You also have Never Tell Me the Odds. Good thing you aren't a surgeon, shaking like a leaf on a tree. Your next Night Stalker skill has a 50-50 chance of being successful. Maybe you obtain the result of Seppuku, Mission Failed, Ritual Suicide by Disembowelment comes to mind. You instantly drop to your knees and plunge a blade into your stomach, spilling your guts all over the floor. An instant glorious death. Well, almost instant. You have just enough time to spout off your last words. So, to make up for all of the skills and the deadliness of this class, if you roll really poorly on this table, you may end up killing yourself. So spend your stealth points wisely so you don't have to roll on this table. If you reach 5th level, you gain the ability to make 2 actions per turn, as well as the ability to choose which path to follow, the way of the shadow or the way of the demon. Let's talk a bit about the way of the shadow. The Shadow Warrior was once the most feared Night Stalker of all time. With over 1000 kills attributed to him, he was the stuff of nightmares for all living humanoids on the planet and beyond. The way of the Shadow is paved in blood, as each Night Stalker who wishes to obtain the title of the Shadow Warrior must make 1001 confirmed kills. This body count doesn't start until 5th level is reached. If you obtain this prestigious title, you get a crazy bonus to attack and damage with various weapons. There is also the Way of the Demon. A small sect of Night Stalkers have been consumed by chaos, worshipping the demon lord Zagon, the traitor. Through their penance, they are granted a small taste of the true power they can bestow upon humanoid kind. Through the worship of a demon lord, the Night Stalker gains the ability to cast their choice of one level 1 wizard spell, but do not gain the demon lord's granted spell. The Night Stalker gains the ability to read magical texts and decipher esoteric symbols and seals. You can potentially learn many spells, but there is always a random price to pay. Maybe you have to sacrifice your finger and you suffer damage for it. Maybe you need to pay a pound of flesh per level of the spell, dealing a lot of damage to you. Or maybe you need to pay with an eye of either the Night Stalker or someone else in the party. And these are just some of the dreadful results that you can obtain. And this concludes the review for today. As you can see, these are truly amazing character classes. The Heather makes me think of a post-apocalyptic Cyndi Lauper of sorts. She is quite versatile in my opinion, very good for fighting up close and personal, but also from a distance. But because of that, I think that for more specialized roles, you may want to rely on other members of the group. When it comes to the Holy Smiter, this is basically a combination of cleric with paladin, a post-apocalyptic paragon that could fall from grace, but that doesn't mean the adventure stops there. There are some role-playing games that once you become corrupted enough, you lose control of your character and it becomes a non-player character. But here you can act as one of these Fallen Smiters and still make your living, cut a swath of vengeance, victory and glory across the wastelands. As a Holy Smiter, you will rely on the miraculous abilities provided or granted by the sentient satellite, the Dawnstar. But as you fall away from the teachings of the Dawnstar, you will rely more on firearms and raw physical damage. Now the Night Stalker is an amazing character class. I don't know which class I like the most, the Brutacorn or the Night Stalker. The Night Stalker can also take 2 paths, but only the most powerful and skilled will reach that decision. The Way of the Shadow focusing a bit more on close quarters combat and combat from a distance, but on a more mundane physical level. And the Way of the Demon focuses more on spellcasting and esoteric secrets. But the class itself is basically a utility class with many skills to overcome different obstacles, open many doors, avoid and disable many hazards and dangers, but you also have that potential to kill your opponent as quickly as possible through stealth, through cunning, and with lethal attacks. Thank you for watching this part of the review, and thank you so much to those of you that have been supporting the channel by sending drive-thru RPG gift certificates. If anyone else wants to further support the channel, the information on how to do that will be in the description below. If you have any comments or questions, please let me know. Once again, thank you and see you later.